What is the dark masculine, and why do you need, want, crave it? I love that we're getting to have this conversation. I have a very deep respect for the dark masculine and what I've seen it do in people's lives, from real empowerment, like real waking up of incredibly transformative power within oneself, like waking up to a lot of life force. When we think of dark, we sometimes think dark bad or dark evil. This is not what we're talking about in this conversation. It's dark, very powerful, oftentimes hidden. There's a lot of different doorways into this conversation, and we'll kind of talk archetypes, we'll talk embodying this, we'll talk activating this energy, we'll talk how we also respond to it out in the world, how that energy can gift us coming from the outside, like another human, or just energetically in our spaces or our lives, how that shows up, how we can learn to receive it, how we may be craving it, how it might be the energy, feel for this, how it might be the energy that will break you through to your next level. Really, dark masculine energy is known for breaking us through upper limits, glass ceilings. All right, let me feel for our doorway in. I'm just going to give us some words to feel into around dark masculine as a way of describing it, as a way of us kind of anchoring into what it is that we're referring to in this conversation. So, dark masculine. Dark masculine has this capacity to really bring consciousness into more hidden places. So just feel into that as an aspect of the dark masculine. One of the dark masculine gifts. I can bring my awareness to a deeper place within you. I can bring my awareness to a deeper place within myself. So if I activate dark masculine energy, one of the gifts is that I can see you, meet you, be with you in deeper places. Oftentimes you hear women say, men too, you hear this, I want to be met more deeply. I want more intimacy. Intimacy is like meeting in the depths. It's more vulnerability. It's more truth. It's more rawness. This is dark masculine. This is dark masculine. Many of us are craving dark masculine and don't necessarily know that this is a doorway in to fulfilling that want or that desire. I read something the other day, and it was around the fact that, let's just say, man and woman relationship, intimate partnership. Let's say man is embodying the masculine more so. Let's say the woman is embodying the feminine more so. This is not always the case, but let's just say, for the sake of this conversation, that man, masculine embodiment, woman, feminine embodiment. What I read was that a woman, feminine, in any relationship where she's expressing the feminine, if dark masculine is not there, she will not feel fully fulfilled. She will still be craving to be met at a deeper depth. This I have seen. I've worked with thousands of women around the world, and this I see all of the time, is this feminine longing to be permeated, penetrated, met in deeper depths. Meet me in deeper depths of myself. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so whether you agree with that or not, totally fine. All of this is just things for you to feel into, to explore, to express, to open up to more, right? Like, if something doesn't resonate with you, chuck it in the fucking bucket. That is so fine. This is just an offering. So feeling a little bit more into why we would want to either awaken more of our own dark masculine, or we would want to be able to receive it or call it in. So there's also this capacity to call it up and out of another. Oh, isn't this fun? This is gloriously exciting. Let's talk about the embodiment and the expression of dark masculine in ourselves and what that awakens in us and the gift that that is outside of ourselves. So one, awakening to our own dark masculine energy wakes us up to vitality, virility. You really want to think of masculine virility and aliveness and like chutzpah, right? That's dark masculine. Yeah. Like you are connected. If you're in a man's body, you are connected to the life force in your balls. Now, you don't have to be in a man's body to be connected to masculine vitality and virility by any means. Just kind of giving us, again, different things to feel into and ways to talk about this and walk through this doorway into the gifts of the dark masculine. So awakening to this in whatever body you're in or gender you identify with, it awakens innately your power, more of your power. It awakens your virility, your vitality. It awakens your masculine capacity, isn't this interesting, to permeate something, to penetrate something. Yeah. Penetrate the world, penetrate the project that you're in. It awakens your capacity to bring virility into something that your heart cares about, your purpose is, right? You can bring the juice from the depths, which is much more juice than if we are not connected to our depths. So if we think dark masculine, same thing with dark feminine. You want to think lower wisdom center. You want to think how much power is in your lower wisdom center. So dark masculine will take you to that lower wisdom center power. It also takes you to sexual energy, which is part of your lower wisdom center, your creativity, your fertility, whether it is fertility to create a human baby or it is fertility to create something else in our lives, anything in our lives, to create your daily experience, to create wealth, to create a business, to create a family, to create a home. It opens your capacity to create, to be fertile, lower wisdom center, dark masculine. So let me just feel for a few more things. Something else, when we embody, open up to more of our own dark masculine, it's that we open up to this enormous amount of power, but we also open up to this capacity to be conscious to focus on something and to be aware of something that is maybe at a deeper depth, that is maybe a little bit trickier, that is maybe a little bit more challenging, that is maybe a little bit more uncomfortable for the world, that is maybe a little bit more wild or judged or deemed bad, hard, wild, too wild. Our capacity, so think about this in terms of the feminine. This is where the feminine really craves the masculine. My like wildest feminine, right? All of this stuff that women, you hear women say, you hear the feminine saying, I'm gonna be too much, I'm too much woman. Too much, there's too much emotion. It's too much, I'm gonna be too much. If I really open up to all of the juice that's in me, it's gonna be too much. The dark masculine is the energy that can absolutely stay completely conscious with that, can absolutely permeate, penetrate right into that too muchness. There is not too muchness. There is not. Can you feel that? The world, the feminine in the collective consciousness at this moment is longing. Oh no, what happened? Sorry, my elbow hit a button on the microphone. So feeling into the collective consciousness is the wild feminine doesn't feel like there is a masculine counterpart. There is. It's the dark masculine. This is where that longing, that craving comes from, is the feminine, the wilder aspects of the feminine, where it makes you feel like I'm too much, there's too much juice, there's too much emotion, there's just too much, right? There's nothing that can hold that. There's nothing that can stay present to that. There's nothing that can, this is one step further, this is dark masculine. There's nothing that can penetrate into that with love. That is dark masculine. I can penetrate into your deepest, most uncontrollable grief. I can penetrate into, with my consciousness, which is a form of love, right? I can penetrate into your wildest rage. It's the Kali myth, and it's Shiva, Kali, dancing wildly, right? This is Kali, the goddess of ego slaying destruction, and she's in this glorious destructive dance of just like destroying the world, out of control, right? Just like so much rage ripping through her. And it's the dark masculine aspect of Shiva that meets her there and permeates right into that, penetrates right into that, and changes. There's an alchemy that happens in dark masculine consciousness, an alchemy, because it comes with, I can totally meet you there. I can totally meet you there. I can bring complete consciousness to it. Consciousness alchemizes. Consciousness alchemizes. Consciousness with love alchemizes. So it shifts her out of rage into, blissful, open-hearted love state. Isn't that stunning? I don't know about you, but I'm all for continuing to develop my embodiment and my ability to express the gift of the dark masculine love. I'm also, we're going to flip this over now, I'm also all for continuing to develop my capacity to call in dark masculine love, to invite it into the world around me and to receive it. This is a whole nother ball game, right? It's a whole nother ball game where many will have to work through fear, pain, rage, grief, guilt, shame, all kinds of things around the judgment of dark masculine energy. Like the ability to receive the depth of that, the ability to not look away, the ability, here's one aspect when receiving dark masculine energy. It oftentimes makes you squirmy because it goes so deep into your truth, into truths that you don't even necessarily know are there. It requires us to become really comfortable with being raw, open, honest, and vulnerable. Really, really vulnerable. Really, really open about everything. Really, really open about everything. And being okay to be seen in our depths. What is in our depths? Your shadow is in your depths. Your shame, your grief, your pain, the things that you want to hide from yourself, the world, the things you don't want to admit to. This is why the dark masculine is not an energy that very many people call in, because it is a truth illuminator. It is a shadow illuminator, just like the dark goddess, right? The same as on the other side of the coin. I do want to stick to dark masculine conversations though. So receiving this, calling this in, if we were to feel into how can we receive more dark masculine energy? And this is dark masculine energy with love, right? It's very sacred masculine energy. That's what I'm talking about here. You can have lots of other conversations about other shit out there. I don't know, whatever. That's not what we're having a conversation about. That's not what anything at ReWilding is about, other than like the real heights of that sacred energy, right? The real, like in alignment with your highest unfolding always. And so imagine an energy always in alignment with your highest unfolding, seeing your deepest shit, so that your deepest shit can be penetrated and alchemized into love. Yeah, that's like shadow work on crack. It's not just shadow work, like where you see the pattern, you know, you're like, oh, I see that shadow, you know, I see that shame, I see that thing that I really don't want to admit to. It's not talk therapy. It's that thing is being totally penetrated and kind of like shattered into something else, the alchemy of it, shattered into light and into love. Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to give us a few practices around this. I'll give us a practice to embody it in ourselves and also to call it forth in another. This is really simple. So to embody it from ourselves, feel into the power that is in your pelvis. Really feel into the power that is in your pelvis. Many of these like dark masculine embodiment practices for men will be connect with your balls. Yeah. Let the energy from your balls be a part of everything that you do. That's pretty easy. I mean, easy to say, probably not easy to do because most of us have been like cut off at like the neck up, you know, but that's where the juice is at. And so for myself as a woman, right, I'm in a woman's body. I don't have balls, but I have that energy deep in my depths, right? I have that deep in my depths. And it's like, I very much can connect into that. And I can speak from that place of there is nothing that I will not penetrate with love. There is nothing that I will not penetrate with my focus, my awareness, my consciousness. Nothing. There is no grief that is too much, no pain that is too much, no rage that is too much. There is nothing. There is nothing that I will not bring my conscious love to from the deepest depths of my being. That's a fun practice, right? Now, here's the other one. Let's flip this around. We'll use the same practice. Now imagine your partner. I like doing this with people who have consensual, right? Given consent to practicing this. Very much all about that. And let's say it's a loved one. Let's say it's your partner. And you have consent to do this with them. And it's that you invite, right? It's like you literally invite, if you're on the receiving side, you invite their raw, wild. If we get to say we want the wild woman, we need to say we want the wild man. You invite their wild, raw, heart connected though. That's the key. It's heart connected. It's divine energy that's coming through. But you want raw, wild juice, power, force coming from the depths of their being. And so you just imagine that. That gets to come into the conversation. That gets to come into the bedroom. That gets to come into the lovemaking. That gets to come into how someone touches you. That gets to come into what they're seeing in you. You let them see you. Let them feel you. Like you take that into your deepest, most sensitive places. Deepest, most sensitive places, right? Like maybe you invite that energy from the depths, that raw power, the unconsciousness. It can see anything, meet anything, and you invite that into the depths of your feminine heart. Like your feminine, like, oh, this makes me squirmy. You know, like it's that kind of a place, like the deepest depths of my heart. I invite you into it. Maybe you're making love and you invite that energy into the deepest depths of your womb space, into the deepest depths of your yoni, in the deepest depths of your being. Like you invite into the deepest depths of your being. And you can work just raw energetics with this too. You don't have to have a partner to do this. You could do this with archetypal energies like Shiva that I spoke about, Pluto or Hades that I spoke about. You can use, or a divine masculine archetypal energy where you can feel into dark masculine. You can feel into dark masculine And you feel that symbol, that archetypal energy holds the sacred, is heart connected. And you invite that to permeate you. You invite it to permeate you. You invite... The feminine sometimes doesn't know how much being seen brings on her radiance, how much she longs to be seen, how much she longs to feel safe in all of herself, her fullness, her everything, to feel safe, to be able to be held, to be able to be seen in the deepest depths of her grief, the wildest aspects of her rage, right? To be seen, not just to be seen there, but the dark masculine loves there, loves there, loves the parts that the feminine finds unlovable, finds I'm too much, I'm unlovable. Do you see how this points to that breakthrough? I want to wrap this up by talking about how does this breakthrough, and this is a really good reflection for you. How would this energy, either the embodiment and the expression of it through you, or the receiving of it, how is that your breakthrough? How does that lead to your breakthrough? It is breakthrough energy. It is enlivening energy. It is awakening energy, and it is breakthrough energy. And so that's a really good reflective question. And if you want some accountability, leave it in the comments below. If you want an accountability part, you're like, yeah, that sounds great, Sabrina, but I'm probably not going to do the practice. Yeah. Put it in the comments below. Like, make a commitment to yourself. I'm going to write it in the comments below. I'm going to write in the comments below, here's my breakthrough, and then leave it. I'm so happy to witness all of that. Like, it'd be an honor to witness any of that. I'll feel for a few examples of breakthrough energy, right? Breakthrough, you don't feel like your sexuality is connected to your heart. Sex and love don't feel totally connected. It breaks through that. You don't feel like you're very impactful in the world. Breaks through that. You don't feel like you're connected to the power source that you could be within yourself, in your life. Breaks through that. You don't feel like your heart is being met, your deep heart is being met. Breaks through that. You don't feel like there's anything in the reciprocal opposite masculine energy that can hold your fucking wildness, because that's bullshit. We don't even believe that. Most women at this point, this stage, when I'm making this video, do not believe that there is a masculine counterpart that can meet her wild fucking feminine. Isn't that crazy? This is it. This is it. In that belief of there's nothing that can meet, the world has to deliver that belief system, right? Wild masculine, dark masculine counterpart to your full wildness could be standing right in front of you. You can't see it. Because your belief system is so strong that it will not let you see it. Because you need to believe that only the dark goddess gets a say, that only the dark wild feminine gets a say. And you think, there's nothing that can actually hold me in my fullness. It's too much woman, too wild, too full, too emotional, too whatever. We will keep creating that reality for ourselves. This is the breakthrough. It's the breakthrough. It's the breakthrough. It's the breakthrough. So even if you just crack that door a little bit, like, maybe there's something out there. Maybe. It's just a crack, right? And it'll at least start to shift what your capacity to experience this is. And the capacity to call it in. The capacity to receive it, to embrace it, to embody it, to become it. Yeah. Let me feel into something else, if there's anything else here that I can kind of point us to. We do a lot of archetypal work. Like I spoke about Shiva, I spoke about Pluto, Hades, I spoke about dark goddesses, dark gods, or dark masculine, dark feminine. Depending on when you're watching this conversation, there might be something supportive that we have out there that you could go dive into or go look at. At this point, the one program that I would recommend as this video comes out is our reunion experience. Workshop 2 or 3 of that series, you work with wild man, wild woman. And I would suggest going through that holding wild man energy, because it will awaken this dark masculine. Then I suggest going through and doing wild woman. So wild masculine, wild feminine. You figure out the words that work for you. But I would suggest holding both of those intentions, no matter what gender you identify with, what body that you are in, and see what happens. Because it is an activation of that particular energy in us, whether to express it or to receive it. So that's something that's available now that you could go do, and you'll find the link below to go do that. All right. Massive love to you all. It is wonderful to be here with you. Would love to see you in the comments. Again, happy to hold us accountable to anything that you feel to share from that invitation from earlier. All right. Huge love to you.